Liz Peek, syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. John Carney, Breitbart economics and finance editor and co-author of the daily Breitbart Business Digest. John Carney, middle out, bottom up, blah, 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 Bidenomics. This is another example. The reason I led with this, it seems to me, this is another example of what is really the biggest top-down economic policy we've seen in decades and decades and decades. And even this isn't working for him.
That's
and
right.
his own unions are in revolt.
That's right. It's a command and control policy where they're issuing it. It's the Democratic agenda in legislative form, and yet they call it bottom up and middle out. It's nothing like that. The money goes first to the corporations, and then somehow it's supposed to trickle down to, in the form of tax subsidies, trickle down to workers. And yet they have the gall to attack successful economic programs like Reaganomics, like the Trump economic program has trickled down. They are the real trickle-down people, and this is top-down economics.
Liz, people do not understand. Whatever they think Bidenomics is, it's polling so badly, it's hurting him, too. You wrote a very good piece on all this. I'm just suggesting that Biden's in a heap of trouble between the potential scandals and the failure of his economic policies and this climate gibberish. Even the unions are in full revolt now. None of this stuff is working. And according to your most recent column, he can't even be a good grandfather.
Well, the amazing thing is that the narrative has shifted so dramatically in just a few days, Larry. You have so many people now, liberal commentators coming out and saying, you know, you've been a really good president, Mr. Biden, but isn't it time to step down? That's what we heard from Elliot Cohen, the foreign policy guru, who sort of say thank you for saving us from 4 more years of Donald Trump, but isn't it really time to move on? That's what Fareed Zakaria told him on CNN in a very flattering interview. People think you've been a terrific president. By the way, terrific presidents do not have the lowest approval ratings since the Truman era, except for Jimmy Carter. That's not a terrific president. I mean, and then, of course, we have Maureen Dowd talking about what a terrible person he is because he won't acknowledge his 7th grandchild. And I have to say, when I first saw that, I was like, wow, there's so many different people coming out. All of a sudden, are they trying to get rid of Joe Biden, right?
Oh, that's right. That's it's possible. I don't know. But the Maureen Dowd one was the most fun.
Yeah, well, and
she's blasting him for not being a good grandfather. Yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah, and because his whole thing, as she says, his whole brand is being a good family man. And I mean, I don't think she's seen all those photos of him handling young girls. But anyway, he has portrayed himself as a genial person. Now, because of Axios, we know that that's not true. And also a wonderful family man.
I'm sorry, before we get back to John, what did Axios say?
Axios says he's a horrible...
I'm having a terrible sinus headache. I can't remember. What did they say about him?
A very offensive, yes, exactly, vulgar person who yells and screams at his underlings. And this is the man who stood up like on day 1, I think, or day 2 of his presidencies. I will not tolerate people being disrespectful, particularly to their subordinates. Well, I guess that's him, too.
Are afraid to go into meetings with him alone. They bring in a backup, hoping that guy will get the flack. Can you imagine? You're like, oh, I've got a meeting with the president. You want to come? And everybody's like, Usually everybody wants to come to the meetings.
John, your columns, though, you've been saying, first of all, Bidenomics is a scam, but it was based on a lie. See, this is the important thing. This guy, I hate to call it lying, but his untruths, his bottomless Pinocchios, to use the Washington Post, proliferate almost everywhere. And it's interesting. The grandfather thing, okay, we can be cheeky about it, but the fact is his son fathered another kid. So that makes him a grandkid.
Exactly.
And he should why can't he take care of her, for heaven's sakes? Exactly. He's making enough money from the Burisma thing. I'm sorry. That's an allegation, not a truth. But, John, the economy, he's full of untruths on the economy. And you're saying the very foundations of his economic policy were based on a lie.
That's right. During the campaign, he said Trump had wrecked the economy with his fumbled COVID response. That was the line they used over and over again. Then they said they inherited a failed economy when we were growing at close to 6% for the year before they got in. That was with all of the disaster of COVID, we still grew 5.6%. Mm-hmm. So the idea so they built it on this idea that the economy was failing, and that was untrue. So what they needed to do was pass something, because otherwise the economy would recover and people would say, oh, Trump fixed the economy. They couldn't have that happen. So they passed something ironically called the American Rescue Act. We didn't need rescuing. It's like throwing somebody a weight when they're already swimming to shore. You're like, here's a life jacket. It sinks them down further. This is what happened. And so that's what started the inflation going crazy. We would have had inflation, but we wouldn't have gotten up to 9% without those trillions of dollars being spent. And ever since then, it's just been lie after lie. The Inflation Reduction Act, not reducing inflation, as you were just saying, it's going to cost us 3 times as much as they told us it would.
Yeah, see, Liz, that's a key point. Biden runs around with this, I cut the deficit by $1.7 trillion, which the Washington Post did call a bottomless Pinocchio lie. But if you go back to this, the re-estimates of these limitless tax credits, these greeny tax credits, and the subsidies. So the Joint Tax Committee has moved it up to almost $800 billion. The Penn-Wharton model is over $1 trillion. Isn't this another governmental source of inflation, even though they're supposed to be fighting inflation? This is the part I don't get.
Absolutely, as would be canceling student loan repayments. I mean, that is another big 400
he's
plus.
Still fighting
to do that. I mean, it is amazing when your own Fed chair is risking everything by continuing to hike interest rates to slow down the economy. What is more expansive than funneling hundreds of billions of dollars continually into the economy? That's what Joe Biden is continuing. Has he ever talked to Jay Powell? Have they ever gotten on the same page and said, really, Mr. President, you could help? You could help by cutting back spending? The American Rescue Act, $1.9 trillion, all payoffs to Democrat support groups.
That's it.
That's what it was.
All this stuff is
This
is a grift. I've said this before. It's a grift. It's going to donors, friendly corporations, and Democratic left-wing interest groups. It's a grift.
It's also not working. I call it wish casting and wishcraft rather than statecraft. And the reason I call it that is wishcraft.
Not witchcraft.
No,
wishcraft.
Meaning they make a wish and they hope it happens. And they keep doing this on inflation. We're going to see it tomorrow. They're going to declare victory over inflation. Probably for the 5th or 6th time, they're going to declare it. The problem is this makes them more unpopular because everybody notices that inflation isn't over. We have analysts like James Bianco has said that we're probably at the trough of inflation right now. And we're going to start to climb back up. So we're going to come down to 3%. We're probably going to start to climb back up to 4% as the year goes on. And so by declaring victory just based on the hope that it really happens on this wishful thinking style of politics, they are going to get themselves in more trouble because when they convince everybody, look, Bidenomics defeated inflation, and then inflation comes back, they'll be in a lot of trouble.
Last one. He's not going to the NATO dinner, which U.S. presidents always go to. His excuse was, he was working.
He's been working
but
for 4 days
you
in a
said
row.
he hasn't. He's been to the beach.
He maybe worked 2 days. He was at the beach on Saturday lugging around a beach chair. No one helped him out. No one paid any attention to him. I know he wasn't working on Saturday, unless he stayed up late. But the answer is look.
He's the leader.
I know.
He's the leader
of
the free world. This is the free world alliance in Europe, and he's boycotting the dinner. You can't do that stuff.
Larry, you don't have to be a Republican to think that he is an embarrassment right now.
No, that's right. That's the key point. I mean, absolutely. Bill Clinton went to these dinners. My boss, Donald Trump, did not like the dinners, but he went, he pressed the flesh, and he talked to these guys. I mean, these are powerful countries. Yeah. All right.
I go to dinner even when I work 5 days a week sometimes.
Good for you.
I got a dinner on day 6, but let's not go there. Liz Peek and John Carney, thanks to both.